At some point in our life, I'm sure that every single one of us has asked ourselves, what is my purpose in life? The beauty of expansion of consciousness is that the more individualized that we become, the more universalized our perspective on life grows. Those awakened beings are the first to feel the impact of the new energies. They are the old souls that have incarnated on earth. And they are at the front line of bringing the higher frequencies and the new ways here. And with each new influx of energy and light frequency, they often experience physical and emotional difficulties whilst they go through the process of ascension and enlightenment. It is more usual that we do come here with an unconscious awareness of exactly who we are or why we feel so out of place. And so they go through this cycle of life and its harsh circumstances. And within that experience of difficulty, they remember their own serenity and divine origin. As crazy as it sounds, it actually does make sense. We all exist as a part of a collective of dimensional lives. And even though we are each individually on our own soul journey, what makes us part of a collective is that our higher self is the same. The higher self is also known as the divine, as the cosmic sun, as the source, as heaven, as God. And so that soul group is the souls that we had incarnated with life after life in this dimension, the ones that come to assist us in our life lessons. All of us have a Christ light, our own spark of God, our own personal God within. When you hear the word God, we are thinking of a being, of what God looks like, when in fact it doesn't have a form. And the same goes for our soul. And so if we can expand our conscious awareness to the fact that everything is consciousness, we would be able to understand that it is our consciousness that is, in fact, the soul. And that begins the introduction to the higher dimensions and also our dimensional lives. It is also the beginning of our creation. Our dimensional lives are occurring concurrently within the life that we are living now. Each of these lives is occurring in a dimension that is unique only to them. And so if you have, for example, 7 dimensional lives, those lives are occurring in 7 different parallel dimensions within this same reality. Each of us have a complex psychological and emotional constitution that produces one's inner health and outer reality. And every single one of us carries within our psyche both the divine masculine and the divine feminine archetype energies. And from these archetypes comes our conscious thoughts, plans, desires, goals, and agendas. And to explain that in logical terms, imagine that you're playing a game where you choose your own character and you get to choose what mission your character has to take. Once you choose their mission, you then get to pick out the tools that will serve your character best within that mission. And of course, we have obstacles that we have to take in order to pass a level. And so in this game, such as life, if we don't succeed, we try again. If we fall down, we get back up. There is no such thing as a one more game over, but there is a choice. And that is your choice when you decide to stop playing the game. And so think of it like that. That's the lesson, to pass that level. But you decide when to play again. And so on that path of ascension, the only difference is that we do not remember the mission that we had chosen for us in order to embark on that mission we want to take. And so if we're questioning whether our lives are divinely guided, there will also be a question of doubt on whether we had missed that path. That would have taken us to our destiny because we had taken the wrong turn at the crossroad. We took a left turn instead of right, only to find out later on that path that this was not our destination. It's not where we wanted to be. And so we question, where did we go wrong? We should have taken the other path, regretting our choice. And this is the test, the unseen truth in our lesson in order to move forward. And so within your own personal path of ascension, each and every one of us has to upgrade. We upgrade as a more authentic being than who we were before, without judgment, without seeing our previous actions and bringing those memories in our present moment so that we can mock ourselves and judging those actions as us being a failure. And so what needs to change? Our ego's development. This is the level of what stage our ego is at. This is another aspect of the dark night of the soul. There is a reason why you go into that journey of the dark night of the soul alone. And there is a reason why it feels as if you are going through an endless maze of the dark night of the soul every so couple of months. It is for you to realize that you are a warrior, a god, a goddess. It is becoming the true master of self. And so this is the full Christ light which had emerged once the higher initiatory status was reached, and one could then channel that energy completely into the work, and the work would be amplified by those energies. It is a highly spiritual soul path, a mystic path, which was different from any other. Again, individually, we are all unique, but we forget our originality as we grow up in society. It is a higher path of love and truly becoming an alchemical force. One doesn't embark on such a calling or pathway lightly, but with total dedication. A path that has no room for ego. One that combines higher service work, and one that had agreed to render and incarnate because of karma. This is a circle of life. Reincarnation, the karma, is that level, the ancestral boon that is passed on to the next generation that may inherit the traits of what was left behind. This becomes our life lesson. Multi-dimensional beings existing in parallel dimensions within one reality. The path of ascension, I like to visualize it as though it is a ladder, and on that ladder there's a few steps that are not completely stable, and these steps, I like to think of them as our chakras. And so that entire ladder is our DNA, our soul's blueprint. And so in order to basically fix our ancestral DNA so that it is one ladder that is in alignment, is that we had picked what we need to fix in that lifetime for us to evolve. This is where we become more conscious, more creative, more in our knowing, understanding and learning from our weaknesses in order for our strength to be born. And this is recognizing that the fear of where we're at is not just because of our mind creating an outcome of an expectation of the future event threat that we are not readily prepared to cope with, but to realize that it is the unknown that we fear. That's why we forget our past life. That's why the amnesia comes down. Because of our free will, we can choose to have faith and trust in our journey. We can choose which road to take, knowing that it won't be one straight road. And so to climb that ladder is to understand your chakras and which one is out of balance. Each and every one of us has a predisposition to have certain strengths and potential weaknesses within each chakra. And so this is also going within and listening to your own body. And hopefully this can also eliminate us taking any medication before dismissing the potential fact that we ourselves actually have the ability to heal our own body. Again, this is by listening to our body and also through understanding our blueprint. Each and every one of us has a physical, emotional, mental and spiritual body layer comprising our aura. Our aura is the instruction set that controls every function in the body we experience as the physical being. Again, of course, sometimes illness cannot be avoided, but healing also means that we are at peace and content with whatever challenges or joys that life sends our way. And in most cases, or such cases, that the healing is in learning to be okay with that sickness. By allowing it to teach you something, you are essentially letting it help you to evolve and overcome anything. And so those souls who are awakened become like magnets to one another. And within that collective is a soul family, a core group who will form the nucleus of those that will hold the light steady for the rest of humanity and then move humanity into that new way of life.